Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the 𝗚𝗘𝗖𝗙, and today we're talking about the cut page. You see, in Resolve 16 a year or two ago, Blackmagic added in the cut page, which was intended to be a much more simple and efficient editing workflow, especially useful for what you'd think like YouTubers and content creators, because we're recording a roll like this where we're just talking to the camera, sometimes for 10 minutes, sometimes for like an hour. And so it's a place that can be very useful to cut things down super fast before you need to do any advanced type editing skills that you would really need on the edit page. Now, to be honest, it's kind of like learning a whole new editing program. At least that's what my mentality was. So I was like, you know what, I'm not really gonna bother using it. It's kind of weird and different and new. And so I've just stuck to the edit page. But a couple days ago, I was really like, no, this is going to be better once you learn it. So just take the little bit of time it takes to learn. And so, yeah, I've done just that, and I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with the cut page. And so I wanted to share 5 things that I really like about the cut page that may help other people like yourself possibly convert to DaVinci Resolve in its entirety, or just at least coming from the edit page only to at least understand what the cut page can do and can't do. So let's jump into it. Alrighty, so going through my 5 favorite things on the cut page that really made me use it more. The first thing is the moving timeline. So whereas on the edit page, if I were to hit play here, and I'm just gonna mute this for now just to keep some audio out of my tracks here. If I were to play here, you can see that everything stays stationary, but the playhead moves on. And when it reaches the end, it kind of just starts to skip through. But if I really want to get ahead of it, I kind of have to zoom ahead of it or go backwards or whatever. Whereas on the cut page, the playhead really stays kind of center mass here and everything moves around it. So as I press play, we can see that it still remains in the center. And this is just very nice because everything kind of snaps to it. So for example, if I make a cut right there, and let's say I go forward here, whatever, and want to make another cut right here, boom, now that's gone. And if I were to select this and delete it, you can see that it actually snaps to close in. So all you Final Cut users, this is going to be a lot more comfortable than kind of the more traditional approach. Again, if I make a cut there, and delete, it doesn't automatically ripple delete. Now, of course, I can go in and ripple delete and then it snaps. So you do have that option still, but here that's going to be the default. You don't really leave any space by trimming in this page here. It all kind of snaps together. Now, the second thing that I love about the cut page is the dual timeline view. So it may be a little hard to tell because this is a very basic timeline. So let me go back to the main video here, go back to the cut page. So obviously down here, I can see a zoomed in version. I can make a lot of refined edits, look at the waveforms and everything that I'm seeing here. But then this top view, I don't really see thumbnails, but I can get a bird's eye view of my entire project from start all the way to finish. So your project is always going to be kind of zoomed to fit in this top view here, which can be really nice to jump around. So that way, if I'm working on the intro over here, you know, making a lot of edits, whatever cuts I want to do, and then I want to quickly jump to the middle section, I don't have to like drag this, you know, and just kind of scroll for days here. I can quickly go up and here. Now, if you have the DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor, Blackmagic's brand new keyboard, or the full keyboard, then your life is going to be even easier. I definitely want to pick those up soon because with the jog wheel and scroll wheel, you can really get around and utilize the cut page like crazy, but still benefits for us normal mouse and keyboard users. Now, next up, this feature is really going to be for those content creators, but also can be an optimization if your computer isn't crazy powerful and you're working with some maybe 4K, 6K, 8K footage. In the top right hand corner, kind of by the effects on and off button right here, you have this little drop down menu, which allows you to quickly change your timeline resolution. And so not only if you're working in, again, a 4K project file here, maybe things are getting a little sluggish, your playback is kind of lagging, you can quickly switch to a 1080p timeline. Or if you're going for like social media and you want to make sure everything's fitting into a portrait style, then you can absolutely do that. Now, if any of your shots are misaligned, kind of out of frame or anything, not really finding too much, I don't know, something like this, of course, you can still go to your inspector and move it and reframe however you see fit. And then, of course, you can go back and see how it affected your overall image there. Now you can also do custom timeline settings, which opens up this panel. Looks pretty similar to the options you get on the edit page, but I like how fast you have access to it here. Whereas on the edit page, if I wanted to do that, I have to go to File, Project Settings, and then you have all your resolutions up here, which you can scroll through and kind of find. You know, it's not super more complicated, but it's definitely quite a few more button clicks, and it's just really accessible here on the cut page. Now going back to our kind of simple timeline here and heading back to the cut page, we can see our final two reasons why I really have started to like the cut page is this project has a lot of stuff, right? You got multiple A-roll clips, and then I got a bunch of B-roll, and of course everything is organized into folders. Now up here at the top, you have your different kind of viewer options, and this one is unique. It's called source tape. Now this will take a look at your entire folder here, and so if I go actually back to the master bin, we can see here our source tape it's kind of like old film, right? Like it's your entire film reel. So every clip that you have in here, kind of mix match, you can see all the little white lines are the different clips here kind of cut up. And so like this long stretch is going to be the A-roll, and everything's just in order in which it was shot, or at least what the metadata shows. And it just allows you to kind of jump through. And, you know, this is kind of more of a subjective thing, but I kind of like it, especially if you are an editor who didn't shoot the project and you need to kind of just see what all it is that you have, especially if you shoot in order. If your like dailies are organized in order or anything like that, you can literally see like the progression of your film or video all in one kind of timeline view here that you can then pull from just like you would anything else. So I can set my in and out points, and of course add them to my timeline here. And that kind of leads us to the final thing that I really like. So these are all your different ways to add a clip to your timeline. You can, of course, overwrite, insert, append, all that good stuff. But the one that I really think sticks out, again, for YouTubers is really helpful, is the zoom. Or I'm sorry, called close-up, not zoom. So close-up basically analyzes the scene for a face, and then we'll do a crop in. So if I'm going in here and maybe this is getting a bit boring, then I can hit close-up, and you can see it actually adds a close-up clip right on top, and it is perfectly in line. And I believe you can actually go in and customize how long the preferences are. If you go into preferences and then editing, I believe if you change your standard still duration, so the default I think is 5 seconds, that is going to be the default amount of time it adds. But I do believe it also analyzes the clip length. Got to play with that, around with that a little bit too, but I do like how it adds a clip on top of it. First, I thought I wouldn't like that, and I wish it would just, you know, make it cut. But it's actually kind of nice, because then if you don't like it, you can simply delete it or turn it off, and you don't have to mess with your inspector panel at all to change your positioning and zooming features in again. So, oh, and if you have the speed editor keyboard, there's literally a close-up button on it, and so that would make things that much faster. So there you guys have it. Those are my 5 favorite features of the cut page. Let me know what you think down below. Did I miss any of the big ones that maybe are your favorites? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, got anything out of it, give it a like and subscribe for more videos to come. Thanks so much for watching The Edit Place, and I'll see you in the next video.